Yeah.
Are you looking for something exciting to read while you enjoy some sugary cereal?
Yeah!
Then grab a copy of Mighty Mascots from Alterna Comics! Born from the ashes of a disastrous 3D printing accident, 8 living advertisements have banded together to right the wrongs of this world, led by a former child star. These unlikely heroes are freaks to some, but you will know them as the Mighty Mascots. The miniseries is 3 issues, full color, and printed on glorious newsprint. This is the fun superhero series that you didn't know you needed. Created and written by Keith Gleason, featuring artwork by Ian Morianto and colors by Anton Bondi.
Ahoy, I can't wait for more!
Mighty Mascots is part of your complete breakfast and comic book reading experience. Only from Alterna Comics.
Hey, everybody! This is Keith Gleason, and you're here for another episode of Indie Comics Relay. I'm your host, Keith Gleason, creator of Mighty Mascots, and with me, as always, is my good friend Johnny C., creator of Surrounded by Death and Sartana. What's up, buddy?
It was your name's so nice intro. You had to. Oh, you didn't screw it up. It was so nice you had to say it twice. That's all.
I'm all out of sorts tonight, and you know, Johnny, it's like there's been this crazy week. Just both our jobs have been nuts, and it's just been one of those weeks, So it's kind of cool to come on the show and just kind of, start mixing it up a little bit,
Yeah, kind of break up the monotony of the work week with, some comic stuff that we love. I mean, it's Wednesday night after all, and you know what that means? It's, comic book day and indie comics are celebrated. And, it's just one of those things where, you can go, okay, time to check in on that indie comic vibe.
Well, the whole thing is, like, when we were younger, this would have been the time where we'd get out of work, go right to the comic store, grab our huge pile of comics, and go home and read them, Except, I think people come here and we just have comic talk now,
Well, in a day and age where there's less people venturing to a comic shop, not to say that that's not happening, but a lot of people are going through Kickstarter, right? Or it's happening on the weekends, but people are going through Kickstarters for a lot of their books now. There's Julius Freeman, who's been on the show before. He goes, he had a really great tweet the other day that said, listen, like, as much as like the big two is like out there and they're a part of the history in the past and part of my heart, he goes, I'm looking at more indie books now more often than not now.
And I think that's all of us, right? I mean, like, we're kind of in that boat because the big two are just sucking so hard. Couple things, some good news, like, around, like, since the last week, a couple little things wanted to mention. I know you have a couple things, right? You were gonna say at the top of the show. First, start with any progress on your Kickstarter. Are you almost done fulfilling?
Yeah, so I'm at 80% fulfillment.
Awesome.
I have a little bit more. I have a little bit more of the creative process stuff that needs to be done for 100% fulfillment. But there's also a good amount of people out there that haven't, returned their surveys yet. So that's where I have to like really put on my knock on some doors, so to speak. And I don't like doing that part. I hate nudging people and bothering people.
Sometimes
but you gotta do it, right? So
yeah, I had to do that recently with one of mine. I fulfilled a while ago, but I had a package come back to me and I had to kind of chase the guy down. I had a couple times, like, emailing and then trying to find out his new address. Finally got it and I remailed it out, but God,
one of the surveys I had sent, I'd send a long message through Kickstarter that would also email out to the person. So they would be notified twice. And then, like, I wrote 2 really polite emails saying, hey, don't forget to do this. I want to get my rewards out to you, your rewards out to you and stuff. And the third one, I just did in capital letters, the person's name, and that's it. And then they replied.
Well, you also could try, like, Twitter, chasing them down on Twitter. Or
I got to make the time for it. It's like, it's one of those, it's one when you get down to the evils.
Right. Like, when that's the last package, then, like, all right, I'll hunt this guy down to the ends of the earth.
I'm giving them enough time that where I still have to do my due diligence on other parts. That, that's the last thing I want to have to do is really pound on doors going, hey, I got to fulfill this for you. Otherwise, Kickstarter won't let me do more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I should tell the audience, you did a great job with especially the big box of stuff. What was that? The $80 tier?
That was so day one you could have got it for $75.
Okay.
So there was 5 lucky cats who got that. But it was $100 box.
$100 box. Okay.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, if you were watching Don Shinn today, he did an unboxing for it, and I really am bummed out I missed it.
I'm gonna have to watch that later.
Yeah, I'll have to catch the replay on it. So if you want to check out people who got the Kickstarter box set for Surrounded by Death, check out Don Shinn's live stream from today, and you'll see him unbox it.
I already took everything out and put it away.
Yeah.
I should have kept it and unboxed it on the show so everyone could have seen it. But
that's okay. It
was great. I mean, you really put a lot of stuff in there for your money. You really got your money's worth of stuff. So
that was the goal. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we didn't really profit much, even though the campaign was very successful.
You definitely made an impression, I think, with
right. That's the idea. Is I wanted to give people something that they'd be super jazzed about, and have stuff around the house that would be like, oh, that was from that campaign I backed. You know what I mean?
Right.
That would last a while. You know?
Yeah. I finally zeroed in on kind of a date when I'm going to start the next campaign for me.
Okay.
Talk to Alterna, talk to Pete. I'm looking to launch. Well, I'm going to probably do the pre-launch page, probably set it up next month.
Okay.
And I'm looking to start probably in July. Actually,
wow, same month as Plastic City, huh?
Yeah,
that's a lot of pressure, my friend.
It is a lot of pressure, but I think.
But you know what?
But I'm working
people will
part-time
go to bat
now.
for you. You know, we'll all go to bat for you.
Yes, definitely, and I think my new part-time schedule will, with that extra days, I think I can do it and make it manageable. You know, it's going to be a little crazy that month, but maybe I won't do any interviews that week or whatever. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see how it goes.
I think it's doable. The reason it was either that or I rush it and get it out next month, and I was I'm not doing that.
One thing I learned from prepping my first campaign was that I had so many delays.
Yeah,
and I kept delaying it. Originally, I was going to launch in May, and I ended up launching halfway through July, and I knew May, the time was not right in my heart. I wasn't ready.
If you don't want to rush it, you want to build up a little bit of a pre-launch, get a few people to sign up.
Yep. And you just know deep in your guts when the time is right. It's like it's just an instinct thing that kicks in that it's like, okay, this is now the time's right.
Right, and it could turn out that it ends up launching after Plastic City. It could be late July. I don't know. It'll just be like a general kind of date.
Right.
I'm starting Ian right now to do some character designs for me for some of the villains I'm going to be doing in the next issues.
Can you tease any of the villains?
What's that?
Can you tease any of the villains you're going to be doing?
Well, let me say I'm going to be.
The last one was video games. Is there another theme or
no? Well, there's going to be the next issue 7 is going to be a single standalone, and then 8 and 9 are going to be a 2-parter. So, I'm going to be doing my versions of Sprout and the Jolly Green Giant in the 2-parter.
I recall you talking about that. Yeah,
and I saw Ian's design for I'm calling him the Colonel. It's basically a sentient piece of corn who's dressed like an army guy, General.
That's cool.
Picture General Patton if he was like a kernel of corn,
kernel of corn, like a little popped corn.
Yeah,
or he gets a little heated and then he pops. Yeah. I was gonna say, and also a big shout out for another place I popped up this week, Ara, who's always on the show. He's actually launching a Comic-Con video handbook, a guidebook to going to Comic-Cons. And, this is something I recorded maybe 2017, a while ago.
Yeah.
And he's gotten around to compiling this awesome video, and it's about to launch on, I believe it's Indiegogo soon. So keep an eye out for that. And a big shout out to Ara for his campaign. We're going to go to bat for you too, Ara.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait for that. Ara's been just one of those guys that's just been very supportive of us and everything.
Yep.
All right, yeah. So the other thing I wanted to show was the campaign real quick.
Sure.
Couple things. Alterna's going nuts right now. We got a few things going. So first, let's just start off with the winter campaign. If you haven't gotten Mighty Mascots 5, 6, or 1 through 4, right here, this is the way to go. This is the pre-order for winter books.
Nice.
Plus, back in the campaign, you get the trading cards, which are exclusive and a bonus thing. And it's going to be a series. They're going to keep going with these. So definitely check that out. Then I want to show you this real quick. The signups are live for the spring.
Oh, spring's already right around the corner here.
Yep. Pete's getting this one going. I don't have any books in this, but I'm a big fan of Alterna, and all the guys that work at Alterna are all great guys.
Could one of your characters be on the card?
Not on my card, but there's a Wes Loker who's going to be in the show probably in late May. Is continuing a series called Unit 44.
Okay.
And I think the Mascots are going to make an appearance in that series at some point.
As cameo?
Cameo, yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's going to be like a multiverse kind of thing. So it's probably the Alterna multiverse or whatever.
Cool.
But this is the next batch of books. We got Dave Lucarelli, who we had dinner with in
Dave's awesome.
San Diego, and Mr. Crypt, a lot of the really fun titles from Alterna. Then I want to show this. Pete's doing his own book. Did you know that?
Oh, I didn't know that.
And it looks amazing. It's called King Cryptid, and it's basically like the king of like cryptid type of monsters.
Oh, yeah.
And Pete's doing I guess the whole thing on this is every issue is going to be one and done with a different artist, and it's all going to be standalone. And Pete said that this is his book. He's going to be doing this till the day he dies. So,
nice. So this is the ongoing thing.
This is the ongoing Pete Samedi book. So I can't wait, dude.
No doubt he's going to have wonderful success with that book because he's got a solid following,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
People will go to bat for him.
Yeah. Before we bring Christie in, let's take a look at the chat. Say hi to everybody tonight.
Yep, for sure.
We got Comics Talk with Pops Van Sant. I met this cat on a couple of streams. He's a good dude. Hey,
nice. Thanks for hanging out, Pops.
Man. And we got Ara, of course. Hey,
Ara.
What's
Thank
up?
You for being here, pal.
Hey, Indie Comics Relay, glad to see you. Of course.
Glad to see you, my man.
We got Amy in the chat as well. Hi, Amy. Hi, Ara. Hi, Pops. We got Johnny C in the chat.
I'm there hanging out, just thanking people for being here.
See what else we got here. Ara says, "Hey, Indie Comics Relay, you guys are so cool and awesome. Appreciate you, Ara, as always, buddy."
Absolutely, man.
Amy says, "Pretty good. Can't complain." Well, I could complain about the snow. LOL.
Oh God, that was part of my
Harry's in the chat. What's up, Harry? He said, "Is Batman worth
thanks for
watching?"
Hanging out, man.
Is the Batman worth watching? I would say
that's like a whole side tangent. We don't even have the time to get into now.
I will say this: it's okay. We'll leave it at that. Maybe we'll get into it a little bit. It's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
We need to do like a special episode alone on that.
Right? Just breaking it down. 50 what'd you say? 50 yesterday, snow today. That will mess anyone up.
My sinuses are all jacked.
Yeah. Johnny, I'm almost through my bag of coffee. So good.
I'm glad. It's the freshest coffee you can get because it was just roasted,
Yeah, it's awesome.
Fresh coffee. So
good. You're going to be selling some at the conventions?
I have very little left over, and it was such a chore to get this batch. I don't know how much I'll be doing the actual cafe on site.
Oh, okay.
I might reserve it for just Terrificon. You know what I mean?
Because
that's a lot of work too. Like I get really tired at the end of those shows.
Oh yeah, no, totally understand.
Yep.
Ara says I'll have to buy a bag next time I see Johnny C.
Thank you, Ara. You're the best.
Grab it from him. I'm in my pre-launch now for Indiegogo campaign. my first campaign. So much to learn. Yeah, it is a lot. It's a lot, man.
Ara, you'll do fine. People will come to bat for you, man.
Exactly. Pop says, Christie, are we riot?
Yes. Look, Christie is one of the most badass indie female creators out there. I've seen her like at so many shows that I've done on the West Coast. She's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be bringing her in a few minutes. Let me get through the rest of these. I have an ad in Mighty Mascots 6 for my upcoming book as well. Awesome. Nice. Yeah. Popped in one of the alternate chats or one of the shows a week or so ago, and I think mentioned that. So it'd be cool. I can't wait to see the copy, see the ad, and take a look at what it looks like.
Legit.
Hey, Ara. Hey, Amy. Ara, comics. Greetings, comics. Okay, so everybody's saying hi to each other. And Roger Morocco, are you guys live tonight?
Oh, yeah, we're live tonight, Roger.
Nice.
Stick around. You're going to like Christie. She's your style.
Christie is an admin in the Comic Related Madness. She is a good friend of mine. Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Very cool. Awesome. All right.
I originally met Christie, I believe, through Josh Dahl.
And really?
That was how we first got acquainted.
Actually, the first time I ever met her was on this show when was it Jason Lennox, right?
That's right. She came on for that as well.
She came in for that big group show. That's the first time I met her, and then met her in person at San Diego, which we can talk about. Without further ado, Christie, welcome.
Hey guys, how's it going?
How's it going? Sorry for our diarrhea of the mouth. We always have to play catch up in the first 15 minutes of the show, and
that's fine.
The promo stuff out of the way, So
well, it's nice. It's nice to see that people really wanted me up there. I kind of feel like I'm up there with I don't know Frank Cho and Rob Liefeld. It makes me feel a little bit how they.
You need now you just need your theme music, I've
got a couple. I've got We Appreciate Power by Grimes. That's a good one.
Oh, nice.
And I was listening to another good one called You Know My Name. It's from the Casino Royale, the recent Casino Royale movie.
Oh, yeah. Another song.
Yeah.
Very cool. So how you been? We were just talking about San Diego, and we got to see you. I think, Johnny, you got to see you too, right? When we were in San Diego?
Yeah, she happened to walk by at the right time and catch both of us conversing. We
may
have been having some midday commiserating.
Yeah, I was just so tired during that show. It was weird because how you guys, we both done that show in previous years, and it's this up level of energy crowd, and then even around Thanksgiving we're kind of man, midway through the day it was tired, but all these people were guarding fucking tables and shit, stuff that you never see. Of never seeing at San Diego.
I ransacked the second table. I sent Amy with so we packed everything into 2 suitcases, and I made my table all Mighty Mascot stuff, and then we took all of Amy's sculptures and prints, and we sent her right over to near Johnny, because your row was awful, Johnny.
That was the big problem, is that people would walk by and they'd see half of the row being empty, and they're like, I'll skip that one. And I'm like, no, come down. I'm still here.
Yeah, but I bet that's never been seen in the history of San Diego, right?
Well, it was weird because it's I didn't intend on tabling. I just didn't think about it. I was like, fuck it. I don't feel like doing it. And then all of a sudden that weekend, on Friday, my friend Frank has this huge booth. He said, why don't you table with me? And I luckily had my shit in the car, so I just threw what I could together.
Good.
I made a good chunk of money that day. It was crazy. It was nice. A good chunk of money over the weekend that more than paid for my freaking hotel and everything.
Oh, that's
and Amy, I enjoyed meeting you. Yeah, thank you for saying that. It was it's so weird. I'm getting this whole everybody's it's the 8. So it's right now I do have a Kickstarter. You guys mentioned that, but I'm also doing a local event in Los Angeles called Asian Invasion, and I actually did it because some of the West Coast cons canceled due to Omicron. Everybody was and some of my friends were fuck. And it wasn't all my Asian friends, but I just said, so me being the asshole troll that I am, because Pops is saying demon bitch. So I'm known for demon bitch. So I draw this cartoon about a shithead of a demon. She's from the 13th pit of hell where people throw their dog shit in gum wrappers. And she wants to go to second Armageddon, but the first one never happened. I think you guys got the book, so you know what it is. It's just based off of this disgusting piece of shit that I used to know.
Okay. I think it's Kathy, if Kathy came from hell, right?
That's a neat one. It's weird. I'm really amazed. Like I just draw Demon Bitch and it's funny and it's just observations, but you would be surprised at like the shit people say about it. Like, yeah, like Kathy from Hell. I mean, that's it. Like that's a new one. And then the other one was like like Chuck Panu said, that's a really sex positive comic. And I'm like, I didn't even draw it like to be sex positive or whatever. And again, I don't have a problem with sex positive anything. It just was like, really? Yeah. But yeah, like apparently I'm people's spirit guides now. But it's just, I think it's like, after a while, you just kind of don't give a fuck about certain things. So, okay. So for me, I'm a little asshole troll sometimes. So as you can tell, I'm Asian. So what was it? Was that I just like came up with a shirt called Asian Invasion with a slitty-eyed like Punisher, shouldn't say that, else I'll get sued by Marvel, but a slitty-eyed skull because I was just being an asshole.
They abandoned that skull anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's been appropriated by fucking everybody, so who cares,
Yeah, right. Might as well have your version of it, right?
Yeah, so I decided to make fun of it, and it said Asian Invasion because of like the whole COVID thing. I had to make fun of them. Come on, I just had to because it was implied. I never actually got crap from that. It was like other stuff. So I said, "Oh, okay."
It's funny, like when you think about stuff like that, like where you're trying to purposely troll, but it's something else that you're not even thinking about that people get like focused on, or it's really weird. It's like with anything like writing, just anything,
At the base of it, it's like it's how your expression inspires people, right? Like for example, just Demon Bitch, like it completely like that completely, so like I said, Kathy from Hell, you know what I mean? That's completely how I pick up on that vibe, but it's, that's the expression you had for it. So that's how I perceive it. Right.
I mean, it's great. Like it's like weird. It's like when people do fan art of Demon Bitch, it's like she's a squashy fucking white sausage fucking like thing. Right. But for some fucking reason, like people just draw. One guy drew her sexy and I'm like, wow. And I told him, and I always try to respond to fan art and stuff. And I said, dude, she looks way better than I've ever fucking drew her. But like she like if Demon Bitch was in an alternate universe and she was sexy kind of thing.
Right.
And I was kind of laughing about that. And it's like shameless double plug. Also, like my Kickstarter will be starting on the 22nd. So I've got all these, like,
we'll show that later and try to
we'll make sure we promote that page and pull that up.
Yeah. And so what it is that so I did Asian Invasion and like some of my friends I said, like my friend Don Nguyen, he's also a big ass hoe. He did the BLM like Punisher. I think he was in partnership with that. I'm sorry, I don't know all of it, but he's like the biggest whore on the planet in terms of social media. I mean, he's a cool guy. Don't get me wrong. I can call him.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Don sends me his Dunkin' Donuts gift certificates he gets from his T-Mobile app because he doesn't drink coffee or something. So every so often I'll get a message from Don. He gets $2 off a cup of coffee because he knows I thrive on Dunkins, Don is the absolute best. I love the guy.
Yeah, that's the most Asian fucking thing in the world. We had like a panel at Comic-Con, the one that we went to.
Yes.
And he says like, well, you got to give away things because David Lucarelli had that, right? Oh God, my cats are stopping on me. But what ended up happening was that he had like these little tchotchkes, and I said, "What is that?" And he says, "Oh, they're all like plastic flash rings because I'm going to give them away." I'm like, "You fucking cheap ass bastard!" And I started but it's like Don and I are cool. We like just shit. We just fuck with each other all day. Like we get it. We get each other. Like right now, I got elected the president of CAPS. And so he's kind of our social media guy. So it's like, I know that's going to go forward with the boards we got. Like I have Brad Rader as VP and I've got Jose Pimenta. He's like the secretary. And then Jen Macquarie, he's the treasurer. But it's like, I've been trying to get like all these things in order to propel us from post-COVID. So I have like a structure and it's nice. And like, so it's Cap Central. Christie is on a world tour. Yeah, you better fucking believe it. I can't believe it myself, but I'll get .org. I know we got to update stuff. We're still like doing the things with COVID. We're like trying to make it so it's a hybridized meeting, not maybe for this week, but this month, but next month. We're trying. It's just the matter of just getting all the technology and the people and the time together because all of a sudden everybody's like, woo, like that.
Yeah.
So,
it's almost like a switch that everything changed,
Well, like it was like, for over here, it seems like COVID ended like instantly as soon as like Ukraine started,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's like, this is season 2 of how awful can things get.
That's the sarcasm
right?
I have about our news cycles is like they tend to prolong or exaggerate. And again, I'm not trying to be an asshole about very real things.
We don't want to get terribly political on this show. We
I'm just
try
saying,
to avoid all that, but it's
the
kind
news,
of funny observation how it affects like
too ignorant
conventions and like our livelihood basically, like because like me and Johnny, and I'm sure you did like a bunch. Well, I actually maybe not in California. I don't know how crazy it was last year, but this last year I did about 7 shows, and
I
at
did
least 5 of them sucked. Like
I did 3 to 7 shows or something like that, but they were pretty good because people in California were kind of really cooped up because we had more
wanting to get out and do stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, as I said, aside from political stuff, like the news cycle, like hypes up things that they shouldn't, or they over exaggerate certain things. And again, I'm not trying to say that those things aren't serious, but they take it to a level where they fucking like traumatize everybody. And then as that's dying down, they find another thing to traumatize people on.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
Yeah. So that's why I'm not trying to be like that person. I'm just saying like that's what I've noticed in the news cycle, no matter what they have.
Oh yeah. Right. And you got social media that just amplifies all of it.
Well, and so virtue signalers and everything where they're like, I cared about this. It's like, you didn't care about this when it originally happened. Why do you care now?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what annoys me. But anyway, so I did a local show because
that's when you put it into Demon Bitch, and it's like, right? Recycle
it.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is what I mean. It's like, so with Demon Bitch, so with this, I created Asian Invasion Yellow Peril because when the whole Stop Asian Hate thing is like, I knew people like in the underground art world and comics and zines that were Asian, like Korea Angry and those, they were doing like sarcastic ass art about that. They were making commentary about that. It's funny, actually, Instagram dinged me for the Asian Invasion one once. Then I made fun.
Why?
Never did it again. So
why did they ding you?
They said it was racist. I'm like,
you're like,
here's what they do that on Facebook. They go like,
what's racist about that? Like,
and then I go like, did you see who I am? Like, can I write down, hey, I'm Korean, so fuck you? And they won't even let you write that. They'll like say, oh, well, it's just racist. This is offensive and everything. I say, first of all,
it's racist because it says Asian invasion. Is that the thought?
And then I wrote down, I drew it, dumbass. I drew it, you stupid fuck. So anyway, in short, so the thing is that it's being held at the Comic Book at Manhattan Beach. The guy who runs it, his ethnicity is Japanese, so I knew it would work out. So I said, hey, June, let's do Asian Invasion because nobody can give a shit for being racist, right? So we did Asian Invasion. We have 10 creators. Some of them are publishers. Some of them work for Marvel and DC. Some of them work for First Comics. Some of them are underground. Some of them are indie. We have him there. Don Wynn's going to be there, and he's promoting the show like a whore. So great on Don. That's why it's like I get Don on.
That sounds great. I mean, I wish I lived there so I could go to that show.
Well, Mog's awesome. She's one of my friends. Mog is in there too. So she's the official illustrator for Game of Thrones. So it's going to be great. And Immortal Studios.
That's Dustin going to be there?
Who?
Dustin Wynn?
I don't know what. I don't know that well. But I don't know he's from LA. I know he goes to San Diego Comic-Con. Actually, ironically, Don knows him. But everybody kept confusing them as brothers or they were related. I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, I always have to tackle things controversial. I take the elephant in the room, slaughter, and put it on your plate and say, here, deal with this, bitch. But anyway, so that'll be on the 19th. That'll be coming up. We're going to have that at the Manhattan
19th of this month.
19th of this month, yeah. And I put the Facebook link in there, so if people want to go to it,
pop that up here so that
I mean, any of our West Coast viewers, we definitely encourage to check it out.
Yeah, it's from 11 to 4. I'm doing one thing at a time. I'm just going through the stuff that I've got going immediately right now that's set in stone. So we got that.
Yeah, definitely. So let's take a quick step back really quick and talk about how Demon Bitch came about. Like, when did you start this comic?
I would say 4 or 5 years ago. I really hated some people, so I just started making fun of them.
So you that's great, but that's like how we, us as creators express ourselves, whether it be good stuff or bad stuff, so.
Well, officially, I just say it's not these people,
right?
But the people that know these people come up to me And then they tell me all this shit that all the supposed people that this is based on, like all the shit they go through and like all their problems. I'm like, wow, this, if I needed to just have people like, you know, just tell me how fucked up these people got. I mean, I can look no further. Like automatically, like if I don't like someone, like you'd have to be a real asshole for me not to like you. Okay. I just want to say that we can have varying different opinions. We can have very differing perspectives. I do not discriminate that way. The only thing I have a problem with is that you're a fucking dick. I don't care who you are, and you're a shithead to people. And yeah, it's weird because like, sometimes we'll have mutuals and they'll just send me shit. And I'm like,
yeah,
I don't even ask. It's just people send it to me. I'm like, all right, guys, I don't know. I mean, I've long blocked these people, but they're like, here, dude, look. Hey guys, hey Patrick. So Demon Bitch came about because I just knew some people that were wannabe models, but they were also fucking asshole drug addicts. Because I mean, I know not everybody who becomes a drug addict is a piece of shit, but it's like sometimes it's good people that have made honest mistakes and they made a bad decision and that's fucking them up right now. But then there are plenty of people that are pieces of shit that are drug addicts too. So it's like all the colors of the homo rainbow, let's say. You know, like in
right. And would you get like you got tired of like the hypocrisy and kind of wanted to like say something about it in a way?
We have this really fucked up view in our world. And I'm going to go say that, and I might sound actually almost blasphemous, that we have to forgive the person. We have to take the high road and go up. I don't have a problem with that. But they tell you how you do it is swallow it down. Don't deal with it. And by the way, it's your fault and you're stupid that you got victimized. And it's like, you know, okay, maybe some people are gullible, but you know, if they're being treated badly and they weren't fucked up, that's messed up to say. Because I had that said to me so many times, like, well, you deserved it. Because it's like, well, okay, but then I met people that never trust people, and guess what? They're fucking stupid, small-minded people. You have to trust people to a point. Now you get better and better in trusting the right people as you get older, we would hope, and wiser. I mean, there's one person I knew said there's nothing more tragic than a stupid old person, but okay. But because like, how did you fucking live and not die when you cross the street? But the thing is that my thing is that I'm all about forgiveness. I'm all about letting stuff go because I've seen people also not let shit go. But I think what it is that we're not taught how to. We're just taught, oh, well, you know, just shove it down and you just have to deal with it and take the high road. It's like, okay, I understand not blowing a motherfucker's head off because you got that pissed off at him. Okay, we don't live in the Wild West anymore.
Yeah.
But come on, like telling people that they're stupid and they deserved it because they were being nice and they were being suckers, that's pretty fucked up. And then you excuse the person that did it by saying like, well, they didn't know what they were doing to, well, they're just going to get away with it anyway. It's like, they should be called out on it. So that's why I did Personal Monsters and Demon Bitch. Because for me, I was like, no, fucker, you don't get away with it. But at the same time, I didn't want to go and bully them publicly because that would make me no better. So I just draw them as characters. And this was my thing. It's like, you get a reprieve in this way. No one knows who the fuck you are. But you know who you are. Yeah. And I'm giving you a chance to change.
No, I like that. I mean, like, yeah, you're right. Like, there's times where we have to take the high road when we actually don't want to. Like, you know, like someone just hurts you and you just want to be like, do I rip this person apart? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you know, you get into those things, and it's, I think channeling it into something else is probably a more positive and better outcome, you know, overall.
I just don't like the umbrella sort of, what is it? The sort of umbrella solution to everything.
Yeah.
Personally, I think everybody should listen to their own intuition and personal judgment when it comes to certain situations. Every situation is different, and you're going to know like what to deal with. Like there are just some people, like one guy tried to pick a fight with me online. I knew he was being a drunken fool. So I just sat there and I was just like, okay, well, I could get into an argument with you, but I notice your pattern is you get and drag it out and everybody says, fuck you. And everybody hates each other. And guess what? You know, it's a fucking waste of time. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm just going to ignore you.
Yeah. That's the way to do it.
That's all you can do.
But it's like the thing is, I didn't give them that fight they wanted. But it's just sometimes you have to make that call, but you have to make the call where you win. Did
you ever get any of these people that have read your work and kind of know that the character is them?
Oh yeah, one of them actually, I think she thought it was all about her, and she told me to go get fucked by a blender, and I'm like, I guess I about my self-esteem, but I mean, I don't know. I don't have anything that big down there to fucking accommodate a Vitamix.
Oh my god!
About, like, damn girl, did you steal my fucking Vitamix or something? I actually do have a Vitamix. I got it as a gift. And what was even funnier when I said that, Vitamix like messaged me and said, if your Vitamix got stolen, could you go and like please like give us a serial number? Maybe we could replace it. I'm like. I actually had to write to them personally and said, no one stole my Vitamix. It was a joke.
It's great to know that Vitamix is at least paying attention to you. So you feel seen.
Yeah. I mean, it's like funny, like this weird shit that I would get into, but it makes for good stories. Like, I mean, like I'll write about, like I think I had, one girl got pissed and she told me I should go get fucked by a blender. And I'm thinking, logistically, how am I going to do that? You fucking idiot. And she wasn't known for being very smart either. She was kind of
that's a new insult. I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah, that was clever.
It was really
you have to at least give her that much credit.
Yeah.
Like it was just funny because it was like, oh, I guess I should be upset, but I'm not. I mean, in a way, like when you're telling, it's like, how do you like? Don actually drew a picture from that too, like demon bitch humping a blender. It just like I don't know, like we just like went with glee about this shit. I think that's why people like demon bitch, like. Some people that would normally not like do shit like that, like Zoralita, she actually recently got credited for My Little Pony, one of the RPG My Little Pony. She just released it today. Zoralita Bellamy. She released it. She's done pony covers and stuff, and she illustrates Demon Bitch with glee because it's like I just did a thing and she'll illustrate. I said, hey, you want to illustrate? Sure. Like part of the Kickstarter actually is like the charm. She did one called Enemu Demon, which was a disgusting Sailor Moon version of Demon Bitch, but I'm actually making into a plastic charm with a star clasp.
Oh, that's cool.
You can't see it quite yet.
My wife said it's hard to be upset at a truly idiotic insult.
You're just looking at that like, really? I'm supposed to be hurt, but you start laughing because it's stupid. And you can imagine their face all screwed up with anger, and that was the best thing that they could come up with. It's like Beavis and Butthead, when they had the light bulb and it was
yeah. That's awesome.
Clear up because like all the connections are dead because she was, and it's just funny because sometimes like I'd have people come, like even especially in special edition, some people came up to me and say, "Oh, so and so, that character is like her." I'm like, "Sure, okay, whatever you think," because I never officially say so.
Yeah.
And then I dated that girl once and she took so many uppers. Oh my god! I'm like, wow, that's nice. It's like. Yeah, and now like it's like when I broke up with her, like I guess this guy dated her for a few weeks, but she like didn't do anything. It's not like he had slept with her or something. It was just more she just like literally sat around, didn't do shit, and just like that. And he broke up with her, and then she just started crying, and I'm like,
wow.
But apparently, like he was telling me all this shit that had like befallen her after I had like. After the last interaction, and I have people come up to me doing this, like saying like, hey, so and so, well, you know what, this happened to them, this horrible thing happened to them. I'm like, well, if I wanted to know about somebody I really couldn't stand, at least this is a great profession to do it.
I was going to say, clearly some people just can confide in you and you get all this great material to work with now.
Well, Harry said he's deleting his Blender dating site account immediately.
It's a grind. It's a grind. Grinder's about. I don't know. I don't know what orientation Harry is.
So you took that as inspiration and you created this comic and you put it on Webtoons immediately, or did you do it?
It's on Webtoon. You can read it for free on Webtoon. I did give you guys my LinkedIn. So if you guys want a preview of the cartoon, the Webtoon link is on the LinkedIn.
Yeah, let me.
Because I actually have a website where my main website that's also on my LinkedIn. So I put it up there, and it's on the search bar on top. But everybody's like, I can't find it. It's like
it's right at the top.
So I made a LinkedIn just out of desperation because nobody was looking on my website.
I'll put the link tree. Is that the best thing to put up for people to
Well,
see?
yeah, because it has apparel. It has the Asian Invasion apparel. So if you can't go and participate via Asian Invasion in real time, you can at least get the shirt and swag. It's fine. It's totally okay. And also, I did other ones, like a series called The Ocean is Stupid. So I made this sweatshirt called Narwhals or Assholes. And then there's yeah, I know. And then there's like also like another, my Square site where it has all my signed prints and books.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pop said, "I'll never look at the blender the same ever again."
And I don't know if that's where Grindr got its idea from, but there you go.
Right. Yeah. Right. That's funny. That's true. So did now Webtoons? I've never done anything with Webtoons. Did they have any problems with this? Clearly, adult content. Did they give you any?
Give a shit.
They don't. Okay, that's cool.
They really don't give a shit. It's weird. It's like they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll do it." Blah blah blah, and I'm like, "Okay."
That's cool. So
flashback to San Diego 2018 when they were walking through small press, handing out tickets to their VIP party, begging people to publish on Webtoons. You know,
that was like the best fucking party. I swear.
But that was one of the best parties. Yeah,
was it really?
Absolutely. Oh, so awesome.
Oh, they had the metal ticket. It was almost. It wasn't even a golden ticket, but it was a fucking metal ticket. It was close.
A metal ticket. Yeah.
And
I'm generally curious about Webtoons. Is it like it seems
it's a Korean company? It's Korean Webtoon. It's a Korean company. It's a platform.
Gotcha. Now, is it hard to stand out on there? I mean, there must be dozens and dozens of comics.
There are,
right?
but I mean, you can just directly link to your Webtoon and then have people look. Like I've been doing that, and right now I think I'm at 9.8 views, 9.8K views. So that's good. So add up more to it. Subscribe to it.
Oh wow! Is that total of all your comics, or just, or is it like a specific?
That's all the Demon Bitch comics that I've published so far. So if people want to just go through all of them, the Kickstarter is actually for the book called Triggered. But the thing is that when you get the graphic novel and support the Kickstarter or whatever, any of my books, I'll put extra shit in there that you wouldn't get on Webtoon. Cool. Like I think the last one I put in recipes, shitty alcoholic recipes. And then I put in, you all suck.
This is the sign up. So if you guys
awesome.
Want to support Christie, you can sign up on the Kickstarter right now. And you'll get a notification when this goes live. What was the date again?
3/22. Oh, it's up on there too. 3/22/22. It's on the headers. I always put it on the headers.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So it's just like, as I said, it's kind of like I'll change the header every week or something like that. But yeah, I always try to update with something really funny or something. Like for some reason during my Kickstarter, some jackass has to send me a dick pic. So of course I have to make a bit out of that.
Do you?
Like if you followed any of my other Kickstarter, I think John, I don't know, Johnny, if you have, but because I think I knew Johnny before I knew you, Keith. But
yeah, definitely. I don't think I met you until you were on the show with Jason a while ago.
First one I remember you launching may have been 2019, if I remember correctly.
Probably, yeah. Because I did one. I skipped a year in 2020 because it was just like I just didn't feel it. And then I found out Kickstarter had implemented their. Thank you, Amy. Kickstarter had implemented their add-ons, which mostly people would get backer kit and shit for it. But I heard there were some issues with implementation. But I've heard some of my friends that actually did Kickstarters recently said they fixed that problem.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good thing. But yeah, so I did. I've done 3. Let me look up here. See, I'm so brain dead because I'm working on so much shit.
It's so easy too when you're juggling a ton of projects, Christie. It's like they all blend together. It's crazy.
So I've done 3.
Oh, and then Pops mentioned here that you're going to have a launch party on Pop's channel on the 22nd at 11 a.m. Awesome.
Yeah, so we're going to do that. I'm going to start it at probably 7 because I do kind of a little early on the West Coast. And it was weird because like the moment I launched it, I said, oh, my official time is going to be 9 a.m. And it's just like all of a sudden I like clicked it on at 7 a.m. It's like, bam, bam, bam. I'm like, I do it like really early to get it the maximum. But yeah, it's like I'm looking for $7,000. But I want to eventually do a hardcover of Triggered. So if we do 7.5K, we hit that. And I think if we hit 8K, I'll probably throw in some free pair of pasties of Demon Bitch in there. So I don't give a fuck what you do with them. Just don't send me like pictures if you can, because I'm gonna be pissed off.
We got you. It looks like we got you 2 more followers anyway. So
nice. Let me take a look. At this.
So yeah, let's look at it. It was 44. Now it's 46. So that's awesome. So if all 46 of these people buy something from you, that'll put you in a nice spot, I think. Yeah,
like when I first started Kickstarter, I was promoting it, but I didn't know about the follow feature. And then when I had it was really low. It was like 9 people following. I thought that was great, or 12. Now it's like 40 some odd people decided to follow. I'm like, well, I think it should be able to make this easy. Because that's over 1/3 of like what I got last time of backers. So that's good. I mean, I do want more. So guys, if we do it up to 200, I fucking got this shit sold. But yeah, I'll have a retailer version. So what's going to be offered is Triggered, the graphic novel. It's going to be 137 pages of stupid shit. That's Demon Bitch. There's going to be the Charm involved with the anime demon. That's the Sailor Moon version of Demon Bitch. That's done by Zoralita Bellamy. She's offering 3 prints for it. One of the prints will be in the book, but the other 2 will be like available. You can buy all 3 or 2. They're 4x6, I think, or 5x7, and they will be signed. And then lastly, you will. That bitch, right? And lastly, I'll have Tamabichi pins that are designed by Ninja Kai. She's one of the artists at Hyde Hermit Studios, and that will have a glow in the dark mad face and happy face.
Patrick said he's number 47, so that's 3.
Oh, good old Pat. Thanks, awesome. Pat.
Thank you, Pat.
That's very cool. Thank you, Pat. Yeah, hopefully the cats didn't wreck too much over there. As long as they're not like licking their buttholes in the background. I saw some video of a news guy on Zoom, and his cat right in the background, like licking its butt. It's so funny.
0 fucks given.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be perfect for what I do, because a Demon Bitch. No, my cats just run around, knock shit off and stuff.
Yeah, right.
Like my orange bush, he was taking these receipts that I was balancing my books about, and he started scooping them on the ground. I said, "Stop doing that, you dumbass!" Like he'll just get this idea in his head, like I should do this, and he'll just do it. I'm like, "What the fuck was that about, dude?"
You know what this comic reminds me of is some of the early work by like Jonan Vasquez, like when he was working with like slave labor graphics and doing like Squee and like Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. That's what it kind of reminds me of a little bit, Is that, did he influence you at all on that?
When I was entering college, yeah. I mean, the thing is that when I hit college, like I'd always been into comics as a kid, but it was always manhwa, which is the Korean version of comics. Okay. Manhwa manga. So I grew up mainly with that, and anime branching off from that.
Okay.
And then when I would read American comics like Marvel and DC, I kind of switched in between. Like I didn't mind X-Men. I thought some of it was cool. That's why I like Psylocke. She's like the fucking awesome person that I really like.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there was I really liked Batman, especially when I would read The Killing Joke and shit like that. That was actually a really good piece of writing, because it made you hate the Joker so much you want to kill him.
Yes.
You kind of felt bad for him, which was weird, because you didn't want to okay what he did to Barbara Gordon.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like the person that he was before, it was really sad. So, and then again, the ending was like appropriate, and it was weird, but it was like it somehow worked out. But it didn't make anybody like better. It just made it this kind of thing.
Yeah, the dichotomy between like, the feeling sorry for him and hating him so much, because
like you want him to die, like
so good. I mean, it's one of the best, I think, still one of the best Batman stories ever told. I think
they always try to keep retreading that trope of like sympathizing the villain, but Killing Joke, I think, as you said, it does it so perfectly, because you really do feel bad for him, but you also see how much of a cunning villain the Joker is, between pulling a fast one on Batman, right, with the makeup, trick with the other guy, and it's like, here's a guy that Batman should know through and through, and he fucking fooled you, son. Like,
I mean, I also grew up with Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. Like that was a fucking good one.
That's a great time in comics. That's when things started changing, and
Yeah. I mean, there's like other good ones that I like. And then when I started entering college, I entered into the underground. Like I'd always been interested in the underground, but usually there was like the booby comics and shit. But and like I would see Cherry and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, porn shit, right? But the thing is that when I would read other shit like, but I read like Love and Rockets, Dawn, those things, those are really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's weird because like now with most of these comic creators, I'm friends with them or I know them by name.
Isn't that funny? It's true. And like all that stuff it's still well remembered, like I don't know anyone that hasn't seen like Dawn or, even
I met even Johnny Ryan, and it's weird because like that guy, like he's really nice. Don't get me wrong, but he's just really quiet. So he's like, but the shit that he draws is like so messed up. Like for some of my friends, I just said, oh, I got to get this. So I bought like Johnny Ryan's A New Low, and that's a fucked up book. So you guys got to look at that on your own. I'm not going to get your ass banned on YouTube, but it's like A New Low is just, Johnny Ryan's is so horribly offensive. It's just not even funny. So like I gave my friend David his, that was his birthday present. And a little while later, he messaged me. He said, I just read a few stories from Johnny Ryan's A New Low. He said, dear God, I fucking worry for humanity. And there was another book that was
I'll have to look this dude up. I'm not
Johnny Ryan.
with them.
Look him up and look up 69-11 and you'll see what I mean.
Okay.
I have a fan that every time I've gone online, he's like, oh my God. Like he gets so happy about that. I can't show some of Johnny Ryan's stuff on here. It's like you guys will get fucking flagged.
Yeah, no, I'll take a look at it on my own.
Oh, it's so
I'm curious about it. Go ahead, Johnny.
I was just gonna say it's like that underground level of indie comics was like that's so very punk rock,
Yeah, well,
like
it is.
I have a background in punk, not like I was a hardcore punk, like I shaved my head, but in college I got into punk rock like crazy. Like when you look at fucking Love and Rockets, there's a big punk movement behind that. True. And it was funny because I was talking to Jaime Hernandez, like when I bought his new, I forgot what the fucking new book was, but it's like all the characters aged in real time. So I was around Maggie and Hopi's age when we were in college, and now it's now. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Because he aged them in real time. So you're like, fuck, we are this now. Jeez, but in a way we're different from our parents at that age too.
Yeah.
So in some ways, we kind of became like our parents, but in a way we weren't. It's kind of strange. We were just kind of like how we became the adults we were now compared to then.
Yeah, that's true. Because like I don't think I'm anything like my parents, but I have taken some of their sensibilities, I guess. Like,
well, I've always
I'm still a kid at heart. Like I feel like I'm 15 inside.
I think the difference is like because I've always said this, and I think you've heard me say it before, Keith. Is I say that those who embrace punk rock too tightly don't age gracefully.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right,
and those that kind of like conform a little bit with like the time.
Take some of the spirit.
Yeah.
And
either
but
you become Mike Ness or fucking Sid Vicious. You know what I mean? Like those are the two spectrums
true,
there.
Johnny. Like, or it's like you got I hate to say it, but like some of that Peter Pan, like what is it called? That Peter Pan, like not syndrome, but like that, like where you're always like you never want to grow up kind of thing.
Right,
What's that called?
Right.
Like a complex. Peter Pan
syndrome, I'd say. Yeah.
I have a little bit of that where I probably like, love kids, like when I grew up, I was like obsessed with comics and all that stuff kind of came with me as I grew up, and then, wanted to make comics, So I think a little bit, not like Michael Jackson.
Like Michael Jackson. Thanks, Harry.
I always went who I was, except I'm better than I was like a year ago. Like if I think of that as growth, like, occasionally I'll be like, holy shit, I'm this age, but I don't feel it. I mean,
that's
it's weird
thing.
because
like, and I think like, if you look at me, like, I look way younger than my actual age, like I just turned 50 and I look like I just turned 35, so I love that. And I think it's because I'm very stress free. Like I don't stress out on a lot of things, and like I just have fun. Like I love comics, and I love, that's my like like my entertainment in life.
Your fountain of youth, so to speak.
Yeah, I love that. And movies, like I don't know. It's what I look forward to in life, and it's my escape from the the day-to-day shit.
That's well put.
Yeah.
I think with me, this is me, is like I think I was healthier on a lot of levels now than I was back then. Like when I was in my 20s, I was kind of an angry person.
Well, that's what happened. And Johnny, same with you, right? You told me that too. You were a angrier young guy too, as well.
Yeah, in my youth, you couldn't find a photo of me where I wasn't scowling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or like for me also physically, I was in a lot more pain. I had just broken my ankle. I had a pancreatic tumor that was pressing against my spine and everything. Like I felt like shit half the time. It's just a lot of other things, but now, like as of a few years ago, it feels like I regained youth, which is
it does. Like, I mean, stress. I think is probably worse, or is more of a D8 or more of an age, or causes more wrinkles than say like drinking and smoking. I mean, that stuff does contribute too, but like the more stressed you are, like my mother is constantly stressed about everything, and
some people are just built that way, though.
What's that?
Some people are just built that way.
It's the Italian thing. Way. Johnny knows.
Yeah, for sure.
And
like Korean people are known to drink and be angry.
Yeah,
what we
to
do.
The point
I'm
where
not
it's like
all we do, but
yeah,
I'm just saying like there's that reputation. But it was more of like I just wasn't happy with things and happy with my life. And also like being in pain a lot of time due to the tumor. Like I got rid of the tumor in 2019.
Okay.
So that helped a lot. So I actually have better energy and all that. Like right now I'm kind of like that.
Right. But that's understandable. You got a lot going on,
Yeah. Like right now, I'm doing this. I'm doing the Asian invasion event. And it's like a lot more mental pressure because like I'm doing other pages. I'm working on the Kickstarter. I'm working on some client work. But I realized like, wait a minute, I got this more down. Because like I actually have time to relax, which is kind of like before you're like, I have this and this and this and this and then like this and I got to wait a minute. Looking at my Kickstarter, I got more fucking done than I thought I did.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the client work. He loves the work and everything, and it's pretty quick per day.
Things are lining up good, and that also comes with a good positive outlook too. Like if you notice people that are negative,
they wear their ass out all the time.
They wear your ass out, but they're also every bad thing on earth happens to them. Like it's almost like a negativity starts building like that black cloud above your head, and
I think it's kind of like their own self-concept of how things are going to work out. Like if they repeat to themselves like, oh fuck, something didn't go right. It's like, oh fuck, there goes the rest of my day. Guess what? That's going to happen. It's not also calling it down on us. I mean, in a way it does, but it's also kind of having that self-concept. Well, this one bad thing happened, so all the rest has to fall.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to have that, but with other shit. And then when I realized, wait a minute, no, it doesn't. Like you can feel shitty for a day and not have it ruin your day. Like I had that like with someone personal, like somebody kind of made me feel shitty. And then, but my story used to be like, oh, because she came down on me, then all this other shit would go to shit and I don't deserve having good things in my day. And the moment I realized that, the moment I realized that, I sat there and I just was like, wow, so that's crazy. And so when I started rewriting that story in my head, so that same person kind of made me feel shitty, but it was like, I just felt bad because they made me feel shitty, but nothing bad happened my day. I actually had a good day. It wasn't like I was sitting around like, I'm just depressed anyway. It's just more like, okay, I feel shitty because this happened and I didn't get respected. So, all right. But that doesn't mean like the rest of my day's shitty. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, and I'm the same way. Like something bad happens. I'm kind of like the duck. It goes right off my back and I'm back. Yeah. Once I let it go, I'm back to being, my normal self. And like, so I'll have spurts of that, certain times. Everybody does, I think, with work or whatever. But like, it's how you handle it. And like a lot of that is where the stress comes in,
Well, I'm the opposite. Something good happens, and I'm like, uh-oh, The bad shit's right around the corner.
Yeah, or like,
Patrick
said,
I wish
this and this, and I'm not going to have this and this. I used to feel that way because I just had instances in my life where I've been raised with. That's how shitty I felt with my self-concept. But when I started writing it, and again, when I say self-concept, I'm not talking about your self-esteem. It does have, but it's the story you tell yourself who you are to people. It doesn't mean like, hey, I'm Christie, I do this. It's just what you project onto other people, not necessarily like you yell at them or something. You could try to be positive, but if you have this story inside yourself that's like shitty and crappy, nothing good ever happens to you because of whatever went on in your life, like parents taught you this or whatever, just for one of the minutes, you just kind of have to go and say, wait a minute, somebody told me this because what?
Yeah.
Kind of stupid, and you let it go. But then I've actually employed that method and it works a lot better. Like a lot of things have really done well in my life.
Oh, that's awesome.
Patrick's saying I should try to find another piece to work on. I had a great time working with Johnny a little while ago. Johnny.
Yeah, I was just. He said.
First. Yeah. So me and Pat worked on a short for Jack Holder's anthology.
Oh, cool.
That was the Great Commandment, and that was the story about Venus smashing into the Earth.
Nice.
Yeah.
My wife said Keith, low stress and good clean living.
Yeah.
And Harry said Ponce de Gleason.
Gleason.
Yeah, hard drugs is not a good thing to deal with too. Like,
no.
I've seen people like they do hard drugs all the time and like, fuck, dude, I can't do that anyway.
And this is great advice from Grow Canvas Grow. Totally agree. Just surrounding yourself with positive people and people who also love the things you love helps change your mindset so much. Yeah, and honestly, I mean, like when I looked at doing this show, starting this show right here, I couldn't think of any other co-host that I would want by my side because Johnny, I swear to God, is like the most positive guy I've met.
I just laugh at all your jokes, Keith. That's all.
Like my hype man. Like my hype man. But no, honestly, Johnny, like I've seen you. I mean, let's face it. There's some challenging customers that come to conventions, and I've seen Johnny.
God forbid the soda's expired.
Yeah. But I've seen Johnny handle the most challenging people with just being very nice to them, and sometimes it's too much because they will not leave Johnny alone.
Oh God!
But you're still like you still treat them with respect, and you're still a positive person. It's just it's one of those things. Like
I'm just me. What can I say? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and it's
but
it's a good
the
trait.
Compliments
like
and the thoughtful, the kind words.
But this whole talk about positivity, like I've noticed even at conventions. I used to just go to conventions and be like, whatever. But now I back like 10 years ago, I decided to just, anyone comes to the table, just talk to them for a few minutes, be very positive, give them a few minutes. And like, it's changed everything for me. Like, people constantly buy stuff, or even if they don't, they'll remember you. They'll see you at another show and they're like, hey man, how you doing? And come back over and,
I was a real quick side story, quick side tangent. I was at San Francisco Comic-Con, and I remember I was circling a booth that had that, that neat lenticular art where you walk by it and it looks 3D and it's cool. And I forget what character it was, but something caught my eye, and I was like, I really want to buy that. It was triggering all my fanboy wants, to buy this thing. And then I kind of scoped the guy behind the booth and how he's being a real prick to this younger kid that was also looking at something on the other side. And immediately, I did not want to spend my money at this table. All desire to want to invest in this thing that I wanted to buy was gone because I saw the guy behind the table not being cool, right? So people pay attention. And that's the other thing, too, is if you approach somebody, if somebody approaches you at your table and you don't give them the business, or you're rude to them or whatever, that other guy is going to see that, and they're going to notice that. And then where they may have bought something from you, they won't anymore.
See, that's the weird part too, is that I kind of seem to embody this thing, like being a badass bitch, like don't fuck with me. But then people like want to talk to me, which is hilarious because it's like, I'm a really personal person at the table. I'm not an asshole.
You know what it is, Christy? You have a funness about you. Like it's like it's almost like cute. Like it's like, oh, here's my like awful thing that I have.
Yeah. Because I don't say like, hey, I wrote a book that was angry and mean.
There's a funness to you, and that's why I think people gravitate towards the book and towards you. So like,
because I've seen girls that try to do that, and they just end up turning people off. Like maybe other girls that are like-minded do it, but sometimes I met those women and they're assholes. Like it's not even like I'm badass, but they're like,
it's like really fake. Like,
it's like this bravado. Like it's sort of like I'm such a badass person, but then they get into the most drama-riddled fights on Facebook and Twitter and saying mean, nasty things
for the most low stakes thing. You know what I mean?
Like
that's an ego-driven problem where they have to be centric or something. You know what I mean? Like they just thrive on being the attention, getters that they are, I guess.
Yeah, like one person, like I remember somebody showing me this. It's like, George Perez, bless him, he's got pancreatic cancer and he's not got long. He's got to go in the hospice and everything. I mean, I wish the best for him. I hope he kicks it and just fuck you, like to cancer. I always hold that hope out for people in general.
Right.
Like, why not? Let's just think positively for that. But this one person was like going on like, oh, and then she was going on about her ass and stuff. It was like the weirdest, most strangest, like not conversation, just somebody that they showed me. And one of the things she says, like, I'm sorry, George Perez. I remember one time I offhandedly said about you that, you just always had it easy in comics. I'm like, okay, first of all, why would you be a prick to him? Was he ever an asshole to you? And secondly, it's like, well, I'm really sorry about that. I'm like, wow, now everybody knows what a dickhead you were. Great. Good job.
What
great.
a weird thing to bring up.
Like a shithead.
Yeah. Oh my God. Some people just like whatever, they will let anything fly on their Facebook page. It's crazy,
I look at some people on Facebook and I'm just like, wow, you never been in a real fight, have you?
Right. Yeah, I know. Exactly.
Me and Keith sometimes mention it too, is that, when you go to a Comic-Con, you walk the artist alley aisles or the small press aisles, you can see the people who are behind the table that are there for comics and the people that want to be there for comics. The people who are genuine and the people who are kind of there because, they're driving their social media, but they happen to have a comic book on the table as well,
Yeah, right. Yeah. A lot of people, think like it's a get rich quick thing. Like I get a comic and all of a sudden I get the Netflix contract, and it doesn't really work that way, unfortunately, unless you know people, but
she's real, tells it like it's BU and fucking what anyone thinks.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, you're right, Patrick. 100%, man.
Well, I mean,
and then he wrote Johnny's the life of the party. Makes the cons a blast up here in Saratoga. Yeah, I've seen Johnny.
Pat, appreciate it.
Oh, that's not like kind of near my parents' side. If it's talking about Saratoga and NorCal, but it's funny because like going on about being genuine. What I love is that nowadays some people will go on and on. They'll rail about one group. I'm not going to go and I know you guys want to avoid that. It's just like I just can't. I mean, on every show I've had to call out hypocrisy, just in general. I guess that's what kind of makes me stick out because I'm not afraid to say it. I will see people rail on about one group. I think you can guess. Rail on and rail on and rail on. There's people are evil. Fuck them. They've held up, blah, blah, blah. And they will go on and on and on. And then the moment that person from that group offers them a job, they will suck their dick. They will just drop to their knees and suck their dick. And I'm just like, wow, motherfucker. Like so much for all that shit. Now, I'm not saying that accepting a job from a group is bad. You can have your voice, like voice things. You can voice your grievances. Like, for example, for me.
Well, that goes back to just don't be an asshole. Like if you're going to take work from anybody.
People are just attention whores too. Like it's weird. Some people are just attention whores too. Like when
that's it. Like, a lot, it's like a split between being that virtue signaler and then also like I gotta feed myself. It's a very weird.
You don't have to go that extreme like that for me. Like, I'll like let's say this. It's like I got pissed at Harvard because they discriminated a bunch. I think it was Chinese American students, right? And then the court ruled, oh well, they used a racist system to exclude them, but they didn't use it with malice. So they're not really held liable. So for me, I've been pretty vocal. I was like, that is bullshit. Come on. But you don't see me rail against like the whole patriarchy.
Well, you're not getting like, you're not starting like a GoFundMe page about it or like,
really, like I don't rail
every
against
other tweet is about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you're mad about it, which you rightly should be. And then, but you don't let it like overtake you and you become like this, I don't know.
The thing is that
hateful person,
people don't understand how you can air your grievances and not be a pain in the ass.
Right. Right.
And that's the thing. That's what I call intention. And some of the people on the shows are like, oh shit, but they start laughing because it's true. They're like, oh, she said that. I said, yes, I did fucking see that because I say that because I see it all the fucking time. I'm annoyed by it. Stop it. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. It's like, you're welcome to air your grievances. I do too for me, but I don't go and act like this fucking obnoxious shit. Like sometimes people go like, well, I'm depressed. Oh, okay, that's cool. We're really sorry. And then they go like, well, I don't want everybody in the world giving me suggestions about blah, 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 blah. Okay, but you put it up online, you fucker. Like, what were you supposed to do? Like, I didn't do this, but one of my friends, a lot of my friends suffer from depression, bipolar, different disorders. And they look at that shit, they're like, what the fuck? It's like, if that person didn't want to put it up there, why the fuck did you talk about it? It was like kind of this whole thing. Like, and again, we're not saying like, if you talk about it, you're a horrible person. It's just that if you're going on and railing about it and then say, you shouldn't judge me. And it's like, or give me suggestions. It's like, well, that's what people are doing online.
Yeah. It's like, no, bro, this is the hill you chose to die on. So, have at thee.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of people don't think things through. That's part of the problem too,
It's weird because like you kind of want to be like, as in social media, you want to be exhibitionist, but the problem is that you kind of you have like full control of what you decide to be exhibitionist about. Like for me, okay, certain parts of my personality, sometimes I'll say something. Like one day for International Women's Day, I didn't even fucking remember it was International Women's Day, but I guess it was appropriate. It's like, I am the woman that you want all your daughters to grow up to be. I just decided to say that. And apparently like fuck tons of people thought that was a great idea. That's and I just did it to be kind of funny, but like, I guess like it's kind of like putting your concept out there on like the wire and testing it out.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, you check all the boxes, right? Independent, strong-willed, you speak your mind. Like those are things to live up to. You know what I mean? You have your own self-published work. Like there's a lot that people could say, like you check those boxes, Christie,
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's kind of weird because it's like, I've been having to, I don't want to say reconcile that because I don't think it's a bad thing, but sometimes like when you're thinking about you, and I know that sounds like really self-centered, but bear with me. It's like when you're thinking about you and all you, and you don't have somebody third party kind of like telling you. Now there's that balance because sometimes people are full of shit how they perceive you. Sometimes they're not. But if people are like, yeah, I'm like, okay, awesome.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's some great comments here. Canvas said, Grow Canvas Grow said it's hard to read people's personalities sometimes at expos, but really happy when you meet someone who's just genuine and really appreciates you, taking the time to chat and supporting them. Yeah, definitely. For
sure. You can tell when you're having a quality conversation with somebody because they are, in fact, genuinely engaging. There is content that's passing between mouths and brains that are reacting and proactively responding. Like there's, when you're having a quality conversation with somebody, when sometimes it's just bullshit, like
definitely
small talk,
And Pat said, speaking of that, see you in May, sir. My first con back. All this stupid COVID crap. Can't wait to see all you good people. Oh, that's cool. I'll get to see you too, Patrick. I'll be at that show
Springs,
too.
New York.
Roger said Christie seems to be fucking fun.
I told you, Roger, at the top of the show, I said, stick around. You're going to love Christie. And what did I tell you? I love saying I told you so.
God bless the idiots that gave these fools a platform to bitch. I know.
There you go.
That's what social media's done for us,
Oh, God. There's like some creators that I've actually unfollowed because it was like, No, I don't want to hear for the millionth time how your fucking ex is an asshole. And he fucked up yet again with your kids. And then he did that. It's like, I don't fucking hear this bullshit. It's like, this is getting stupid. Oh, my daughters, they're all afraid to be fucking walking around the world because of guys. I'm like, oh my God. And the thing
just
is,
mute them. Just mute them. It's like, who's got time for that?
I'm just like, kind of, no, I'm done. I mean, for me, I guess it's kind of weird. I come from a different thing where my mom made a lot of the money. My dad didn't make shabby money. He was a mechanical engineer, but she was a realtor in Silicon Valley. So imagine that type of shit she made, you know, it's so it's kind of like, if there was any crap that she got from a dude, I didn't hear about it. I mean, she called the dude a jerk, but she never went on just because he was a male. She just did her thing.
Right.
So that's why it's like weird. Like I have a different view on femininity and a different view on, you know, feminine in general, because it's like, I just hear all these things of like all these fucked up victimization stories, but my mom was actually really empowering in a lot of ways, you know, at least in terms of work. I mean, there are some things like I think she could have done better in, but I don't want to be like, oh, she's a fucking terrible person just because she was successful. It's like, no, that's not really it.
Right.
No, there are very successful people that are very good with their children. Some of them are not.
Yeah. No, that is true. You know,
or they're both. They just learn over time. You know what I mean? It just
right.
It's crazy. So another little side tangent. My office job is above a specialty needs school. So more often than not, I see episodes happening in the parking lot, and I get to see wonderful examples of good parenting and terrible parenting. Even today alone, I saw a mom get really frustrated with a kid, leave the kid in the sidewalk, take off, circle around the parking lot, and then come back again, and then leave again. And then next thing you know, the father comes. And this was like a half hour later. Meanwhile, the kid's sitting in the snow. And then, you know, me and my coworker are watching this whole instance go down.
Oh my God.
And then I go, when is somebody just going to get in this kid's level and talk to him and go, what's going on, bud? What's wrong here? And sure enough, the father got out of the car, kneeled down in front of him, talked to him. I'm like, that's exactly what you need to do. And the kid jumped in the car. It's like, where was the disconnect there? You know what I mean? And
yeah, which is weird because they try to make fathers look like these assholes that can't relate to their kids. But I've seen plenty of moms treat their kids like shit too.
Yeah, I was shocked that she drove and left this kid in the snow. I was like, what's going on here? Like, it really, like, I felt really bad for the kid. I mean, regardless, you know, my coworker made a point like, well, you know, if this kid's a specialty needs student and, you know, they've had 16 years of this kid being extremely difficult, that could wear on you. But then you also have to think, you know, your compassion has to be endless and limitless for your own child, you know?
Yeah, I mean, parents are human too. That's what kind of sucks. Right. Christie's my kind of feminist. I just get kind of annoyed with the whole feminist shit sometimes because it's like they kind of just do this thing like this group is evil because so that we are good. And I'm like, no, that's
right.
We're past that point. This is not the 60s anymore.
Right.
No, well, I think the whole idea and the main concept of, you know, feminism being about equality is now more about surpassing or usurping, you know, or like tipping the scale in the opposite favor as opposed to being about genuine equality.
I think also sometimes, really quite frankly, like I'm not saying, because I've been sexually harassed. I have been assaulted. So I'm not coming from a place where I've never known that to happen. But, you know, I've noticed women tend to psych themselves out a lot. Oh, I'm going into this room full of guys and they're all going to hate me and think I'm less than a person because I'm a woman. Did they say anything to you about it? No.
Right. Okay. Like going in, like already expecting to have trouble. Like,
I mean, that's true of anything. Like if you like for me, I expect things to work out right.
There's been times I've walked into situations like being like, oh, this is gonna suck, and it's total opposite situation, you know.
That's like when I call into Verizon customer support with guns blazing, looking for a discount on my bill because my service wasn't
Bob.
Good. Yeah,
Bob from India.
Yeah, like I for me, it's like there are times I've had in my head like, fuck, I don't know if this is gonna be a good day. But, you know, even if you have a doubt, you can still have a good day. Just allow yourself to have a good day. So the thing is that, like, sometimes I've had guys apologize to me in groups like, sorry, this is kind of a sausage fest. I'm like, all right, I don't care.
Yeah, like, it doesn't bother me. It's just like, just be happy, you're alive another day. It's like,
but for them to apologize to you for that being the case is like, that shows where their head is at, right?
Yeah,
and they're coming from that differentiator as opposed to looking at it as an equal environment, right?
I think it's also like probably they've had a lot of women get in their face about shit. And I mean, I think it's a dual-edged sword. Personally, for me, sure. I just try to get into a situation, be friendly. It's like, well, this is me. You like it, you don't, okay, whatever. And then I'll talk to a person. And sometimes, like some people, you take some time getting to know. Some people you don't. You bam right away. But rolls newspaper hits dumbass on snow.
No, Patrick's great. That's
but
great,
that's the thing.
man.
Like, I don't go into a situation with self-consciousness that I'm a woman. I never think about that. Maybe I'm self-conscious, like, oh fuck, these are people that have done way bigger things than me, and maybe for a minute I might feel that way.
Still,
but sometimes you have to psych yourself up because no one else fucking will. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can have very encouraging or discouraging people, but end of the story, like the biggest cheerleader for you is you. And just like, if you're going into a group where you're talking with people, you're like, no, God damn it. I have every right to be here as much as I was asked to be here. Fuck this shit. So it's like, I mean, sometimes like I would kind of forget about some awards that I've gotten, not because, wasn't good enough, but I just forgot about it. But for me, it's like, I decided to put more of my Ringo Award fucking shit up because I was like because like I would forget to like even mention it. And people are like, well, you're really humble. I just say, no, that's actually an important award. I should actually mention it. I mean, I'd like to get an eyes or necks. We'll see how that is. Maybe with Demon Bitch will do that. I don't know. But yeah, I just looked at that and I was just like going, Ringo Award, like, I don't know. It was weird. Like when I won it, I didn't know I won it until the editor told me I won it. And I'm like, oh, wow, cool.
So that's so awesome, though. What a credit to have.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because it's like, it does attract things to you. I mean, obviously there's a way to do it, but it's like Ringo Award winner. Like how many people can say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it looks nice. You know what I mean? Like it's like a resume thing, like just helps you look like your credits look good in comics,
But that's a testament to your hard work and the quality of your
hard work.
Yeah,
I mean, it's still at the end of the day, it's an award, in comics, so it's really.
Yeah, sometimes we all have, depending if we're a writer or an artist, we can all go and say like, oh shit, my stuff sucks. We've all had those days. Like,
of course,
I don't know what the fuck I'm drawing. They're not going to know what the fuck I'm doing. God, I fucking suck. This looks like chicken scratches or whatever. And then you look at your Ringo Award and say, no, I actually am worth. This is worth something. This is awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I think I've always said creativity comes with a little bit of self-doubt in the shoulder. We all carry it, and it's just to a varying degree and extent. And you got to make sure not to let it overtake you.
Too.
Right, that's true too.
Yeah, like for me, I always like try to tell artists, like, always think of yourself as the best. And they look at me like, does that mean I have to be an arrogant dick? I said, no, usually arrogant dicks know they're not good. They just have to bitch about being good all the time.
That's true. Okay. Like I find the best artists and writers are people that think they suck. And then the ones that do suck think they're the best writers and artists. It's kind of true. It's like kind of like, it's not every case, but it's maybe
it's kind of the thing is, like, this is my point about artists. I really wish they would teach artists business as well as drawing skills, but they're kind of taught to be farmed work.
Yeah, right? part of that too is artists are kind of, I'd say, so like. Yeah, they're more into being artists and not necessarily the business side of things either, and some of them have like anxiety and things like that, and you know what I mean.
But the thing is that great, they do, but they're going to be miserable and not know what the fuck to do.
It's true too.
I talked to other artists, like they said, well, how do I sell at the table, Christie? I don't know how to do it. I'm like, okay, you're going to have to talk to people. Oh, but I have social. Okay, but you do. But would you rather sell your art or and actually feel validated that you sold your artwork by just having a conversation with someone, because you are one of millions of people? I'm not saying you suck or that your art isn't any worth it, but you're competing against millions and millions of people.
Yeah.
Okay, especially online. Number 2, they have to get to know you. And number 3, you don't need to be a car salesman. And number 4, would you fucking want to be miserable, never selling anything and going home every day after a con, not selling anything and feeling more like shit? What do you want? I mean, I'm not trying to be like an asshole and be a shithead and say, you need to be this really agreed. No, I've had artists that were like Johnny Ryan. If you've ever met him, he's like, but he talks to people. It's not like he's like, like this. You know, he just talks to people, but he's very laid back and low key, like Lonnie Millsap, big, tall dude, stands behind his table, but he's like, hey, how's it going? Why don't you take a card? Like, interact with a person.
Yeah.
And I know they say social
Great advice. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. But the thing is that you have to do, what would you be happier doing? And sometimes people don't ask that question of other people. And the thing is that my attitude, because I was taught this, that's why I said, always assume that you're the best at what you do. Now, here's the thing. How I do it is that I know I'm really good, but the thing is along the way, I can be better to being good, really good. That's how I view it. It's not like, oh, my work is perfect and I fucking don't have to answer to anybody. That's the thing that people get that confused with. People that usually think that they're God's perfect green earth usually have this very, very sucking deep hole that they're overcompensating for. That's the thing. That's why it's like, and the ones that suck, I mean, the ones that are good that think they suck, that is actually not a good place, because you end up getting, because those are the guys that I hear, this person fucked me over out of X amount of money because of blah, blah, blah. And I really trust him. Like, it's because your fucking self-esteem is in the toilet and nobody taught you any business. That's the thing that pisses me off about a lot of this. Like, I hate these things. Oh, but an artist, they have to be, it's like, it's changing now. You actually have to be somewhat socially functional.
And there's also too the flip side of that too. Like, sometimes I've heard stories where the writer pays the artist and then the artist never completes the work, and it's like, you gotta be responsible for that too. You gotta be responsible for yourself, especially if you want to work in this industry.
Well, of course. I mean, I'm not trying to say like it's all that, just the ones that I have that have the shit self-esteem usually.
Definitely. You gotta find a way out of that, because you're right, because this is a business at the end of the day, just like making a movie is, or acting. It's like you still gotta find a way to connect with people, even if you have, mental illness or like some kind of anxiety or something,
It's like the people you talk to that you say, oh, well, how was this convention? How did you do with this show? And they say, oh, well, that show sucked. But if you look at the actuality of the situation, they're the type of person who's behind the table on their cell phone, head down, not engaging with the audience. So did the show suck? Or did you just suck as a salesperson, so to speak?
Yeah. And the thing is, you have to be able to read the room. And I've had sometimes some trouble. Like, there were some shows, like I stood up there, I talked and everything. Because like, what's weird for me is like, I guess I don't fit in that typical mold. So I would hear women go like, well, I didn't do well because I just sat there and I drew. So I'd be like, okay, I'll just stand up. I mean, I wouldn't be in anybody's face, but I'd be ready to engage. And there were some shows I didn't do well in until like after like an hour. I'm like, maybe we should just sit down and draw. So I would sit down and draw. More people would approach me. So it's like, I haven't done one approach for everything. Like sometimes at Comic-Con, for example, I'll stand up or I'll say, hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. People are looking. But if it's like sometimes at the smaller shows, but even smaller shows, that's kind of debatable. If I'm sitting there drawing and stuff, they approach me more. It is really weird. And it's again, kind of adapt. We're beings, we're adaptable. And again, I'm not trying to be sensitive to people's shit. I get it. I mean, I've had to go.
No, but people need like a real talk. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to be an artist, and you want to be in this field, and you want to sell stuff, like in real talk, you gotta learn to be almost like a customer service rep, if you know what I mean, like in a lot of ways.
Well, it's like a muscle. Like it's like a muscle. Like I was talking to a vet that had gone through PTSD, and some of PTSD is like you have to kind of like exclude yourself from people because you've been through your shit and you disassociate and all this other stuff. And he was telling me like, I don't know how I go about socializing. I mean, I don't know how to do it again. I said, okay, think about a muscle. You need to exercise that muscle. But let's say this muscle's been damaged, like you tore it, it got hurt or something. So you're trying to put your muscle back to what it was, but you're also mindful of the damage you had. Mm-hmm. So it's not like, oh, just, you could get back into it. I think that's a bit insensitive too, because if you have something like PTSD, that's hard. Same thing with anxiety or whatever. But the real talk is you do need to talk to people. You have to learn how to do it. You have to do it in a way that makes you comfortable. I'm sorry. You cannot go and just you cannot just go and sit there and not do shit. And I'm not saying you're lazy. I'm sure you're very good. You work fucking hundreds of hours on your shit. But it's like you need to also put that into talking with people.
Yeah.
Showing up isn't enough. You have to engage. You have to go the extra mile.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't need to be a super anybody's face unless you're like that, really. Just be yourself. What's that mean? It's like you just talk to them like you would be talking to somebody you'd want to talk to.
Awesome. Like we said, quality of conversation. Exactly. That's really what it comes down to.
It's like, well, what if this person's mean to me? It's like, who gives a fuck? Usually they aren't.
Next, that's next. Go to the next one. But that's great advice. I honestly, if anyone's out there that's watching the show that needs to hear that,
I mean, it's not
the hard truth with Christie Shinn.
But it's not even just comics, though. That's great life advice. I mean, just in general, like dealing with people day to day.
Yeah, you cannot go and. That's the thing. What I hate is that sometimes people go and they say, I'm triggered by this and that, and I can't do anything. It's like, look, I've had a lot of shit happen to me. I understand, but you have to work through your triggers or else you're going to be a fucking miserable person or you're going to continue to be plagued by them.
Yep.
Sometimes, okay, you don't need to go and break down your trigger right in that day, but triggers, what I've learned with a lot of self-work is that triggers are things of stuff you need to resolve in yourself. Like, what sets me off? Why? And people go like, well, it was because of this. Okay. Can we do this in a detached fashion where you're not hyped up? It's like you're going through the hype up in your system. Great. Like your body's going, I'm dying, or something's going to kill me. Okay. A bear is not in reality going to kill you. But why are you being upset about, let's say if somebody's mean to you, why are you upset about? Well, that person's mean to you. Okay. Aside from that, when they said this to you, what did it convey? Oh, it kind of conveyed that it kind of conveyed that, this is what my mom was telling me because I didn't do something she did and she called me stupid. Okay. Is your mom doing this now? No. And then usually the trigger is gone. A lot of the times, like when I've had to work with myself on that, that's how I walked myself through a lot of shit. Okay. Why? Okay. This is happening now. Okay. All right, well, why is this setting you off on a such deeper level? Because of this. And if we just talk to ourselves that way, not like, oh, why am I stupid that I'm fucking up? Well, no, stop. This is not judgmental. This is more like when I was, like, as I said, like when that person made me feel shitty, it's like when that person would usually say something kind of shitty to me and then it would cascade and I'd spiral out, then that would be one thing. I mean, I didn't melt down, but everything just fell to hell on my day. When I got to a point where I was like, okay, I feel depressed and shitty, but that's because they were treating me shitty. But my day's actually good. Like, even though I give credence to my feelings and I did feel depressed throughout the day, I didn't go and spiral out thinking my day was going to get fucked because of everything. Like, I actually had a great day. I got this really great outfit at a really good price. I got some nice ice cream. I like really good things happen.
Yeah, like there's like the whole day's not ruined. Yeah, totally. That's how I approach most things too. Like if I have a shitty interaction, I try to not let it ruin the rest of the day,
Yeah. So it's like you can still feel shitty and still have a good day.
Yes.
People are like going,
it's true.
Yeah. People are thinking like, oh, I need to be super, super stupid happy about everything. It's like, you don't need to all the time, but shit doesn't need to fall apart either for you to be sad. Like sometimes, you're
right. You don't have to like bite somebody's head off either, like because you're having a bad day,
Well,
what were you going to say, Johnny?
I was just going to say that I think and I feel and I see in several examples that isolation can be a catalyst for the way people behave sometimes, right? And I point specifically to say right when we were getting out of COVID and you'd see like every other day there'd be something on the news about somebody having a fist fight on an airplane. Well, it's like you went into isolation and you're now throwing people back out into the wild and they forget human decency. They forget how to communicate with other people. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think isolation promotes that in some ways, and some people just don't know how to hang and how to deal with that.
Yeah, well, no, definitely.
Also, like, you know, the stress of all the other shit that was COVID and everything else. And as I said, the news didn't help by making it more heightened than it should be on a certain level. I mean, I'm not trying to say it wasn't any less serious. It's like, if like, oh, you have cancer, right? Like, and it's like, okay, the doctor tells you it's stage 1, it's very treatable, blah, blah, blah. And you have somebody continuously yelling at you, you're going to die because you have cancer. Right. Like that level of shit, you know, instead of,
no,
it's like, yeah, I have cancer. I'm dealing with it. You know, it could be serious, but I'm dealing with it now. It's not at a serious stage. And having that level of coping, and then having somebody screaming to you how you're going to die every day. Yeah. That's what I mean. I think that's what people were feeling. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, we've been going almost, if you can believe it, an hour and 40 minutes. It's crazy. So
flew right by.
I know, it's nuts. You get into these discussions and it kind of flies. So yeah, we're gonna start wrapping it up. One thing I'd like to show the link again for the Kickstarter pre-launch page. So if you haven't, this is going to be launching on the 22nd. If you haven't signed up yet, just
sign on up.
Log into your Kickstarter and hit saved here so that you get a notification when this goes live.
Help me get to at least 100 people before the launch date. That would be great.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're watching this tomorrow or next week, just
on the replays, just make sure you
take a minute, go to Kickstarter and help Christie get up to 100 people. That'll definitely guarantee probably a very successful Kickstarter. So definitely check that out. Christie, where else can people find you? Like, is it the link tree the best thing to share?
You can contact me through the website. But you can do Linktree. Like, I also have an email form for my Linktree as well. So I put it multiple times because people were not finding it for some weird reason.
Yeah, so here's your Linktree. I'm gonna put that.
Yeah, my Linktree should have that.
I also put a bunch of your links in the description for the video too. So
that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's already there. So when people want to check you out or follow you on social media, are you more active on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram?
More Facebook. But I have a Twitter. I mean, if you DM me directly.
You'll get it.
If you DM me, I'll actually be more prone to answer. I've just kind of like the whole thing with Twitter. I kind of like, whatever about it. But
yeah, Twitter. I've changed over the years. I kind of like Twitter a little better than Facebook. But yeah, I like both. Like I still check both, but I seem to be more on Twitter nowadays. And but anyways, Johnny, anything going on in your neck of the woods as we start to wrap up here?
Yep. So I just want to go through a few Kickstarter campaigns that are live right now. There was the Cthulhu campaign, that last week's episode.
Yeah, how they doing?
Super show. So we had a false campaign funding pledge. So somebody trolled and pledged $10K,
and then refunded it.
Well, no, they didn't refund it. It wasn't legitimate. So Russell, knowing that it was kind of a troll situation, engaged with Kickstarter, and they rolled that back, knowing that wasn't a legitimate pledge.
Shoot. Yeah. So were you guys funded and then it like went away?
Yep. So we were at 35K, something like that.
And now it dropped you back down to 25.
Back down to 25. But the campaign,
there's a lot of days left though, right?
There's 28 days left.
Okay,
still.
You guys will hit. What's
the goal? Like, what's the goal for the
goal is 30,666 for Cthulhu is hard to spell.
I'm pretty sure we'll hit that. Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah,
there's no way you guys aren't hitting that. I mean, you look at how far you've come already.
Right? So. Yeah, I'm not worried. I'm confident it'll hit. It was crazy that we had to deal with this fraudulent pledge.
That's crazy that someone would do that and then just.
Wow, that's fucked up.
It is crazy that people do that. It must be an enemy or somebody that doesn't like somebody on the anthology or something.
Who knows?
That sounds just fucking stupid, man.
So stupid. Shit. People just love to play games, Yep. Anything else, Johnny?
Yep. Tomb of the Black Horse. It's the 3rd volume from Ian Mondrick.
Okay.
Wonderful creator. Love Ian. Check out his campaign. It's already funded. It's at 11K, but on an 8K goal. but that means you're going to get the book. So pledge now. You can get that. You can get all 3 books. It's awesome. And last but not least, I just wanted to give a in memoriam shout out. We actually there's an individual I met in Chicago at C2E2. His name was Steve Lightman. He ran a page called Reading with a Flight Ring. And he was a big proponent in promoting indie comics. He was a wonderful human being, and I just found out today he passed. So I know he reviewed The Pond. Issue 1 when that came out. He just came up to the table when I was at C2E2, and he goes, "This looks really cool. I run this site. I'd really like to buy a copy to review it." And I go, "No, take this copy." You know what I mean? And he was a real cool guy, real nice guy. He's gone. He's gonna be missed. Just wanted to give a big shout out to the memory of Steve.
I didn't know him, but it sounds like a good dude.
I was lucky enough to meet him because I ventured out to C2E2. You know what I mean? That was his stomping area.
Awesome. The only thing I wanted to show, I've been getting back into drawing a little bit lately, Johnny.
Oh yeah? What we got?
Yeah, so I've been I usually attend. Alterna does like an art auction once a month, and because of those, I've been getting more into drawing, and I've been doing sketch covers and things like that. So I have 2 covers that are going to be going into the auction this weekend. This is my first one. It's a sketch cover of Brewster McPunch meeting Cuphead.
Oh, that's great.
I got to say this. I have a unique Cuphead story. Like when they had the launch party, they had Meltdown Comics when they still had a physical location. And they had like 2 huge ass In-N-Out trucks. I invited my friend Raw Dog to meet me there, and we ate fucking burgers, and we had like limitless cocktails of Cuphead.
Oh, that's awesome!
That's awesome.
That's
great.
That
was a cool launch party. We played Cuphead. That's a fucking hard ass game, I swear.
Oh, so hard. Right?
But it's good. It's a good game.
This is the other one. This one came out really good. This is Boxer Bear versus Legend of Log.
Oh, nice.
And my wife did the colors. It kind of actually made it like even better. But
I love it. Great work, Amy.
Yeah, isn't that awesome? So those will be auctioned off this weekend on the Alterna campaign. So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, on the Alterna auction, 1 to 4 on the Alterna channel on Saturday. So that's my one plug for this week. I'd like to thank Christie for coming on. Definitely.
Thank you guys.
So much. Yes.
I'm glad we were able to get you a few more followers onto the campaign, which is good. That's
Make sure
one
you back
thing
that
we
campaign
do here.
when it goes live.
Yeah, definitely.
Please.
And
which is funny because me being controversial and saying borderline things, I noticed like you guys are like, but somehow it got me more followers. So.
Yeah. Like I said, you have a funness about you. So it's, I think people
100%.
People like the realness and and you're fun, So,
but
yeah, definitely. And anything, I'm trying to think if anything's coming up for us. I don't think
next week we're off because we're back.
Yes, we're back on schedule
right?
now. And I don't see any kind of schedule hiccup in the near future, except towards, I think, early May when me and Amy go on vacation. I think we're gonna have to do some finagling on the schedule at that point. But
we'll figure it out.
Pre-record,
whatever. Just leave the keys with me, Keith. I won't burn the house down. I promise.
Shit, I did the barbecue.
That might be a good. I was thinking either go double up or do like the week before or the week after or something.
Right.
Oh, thanks, Adam. Adam Warlock joined. I said the sketch covers look great. Thanks, buddy, man.
Awesome, man.
That'll be on Saturday, so I might do some sketch cards too for Saturday too. We'll see.
What are you
Amy's
doing?
working on a killer Blood Realm versus Mega Crunch cover, which looks awesome too. So
cool.
Can't wait to see that. It's going really well. It's like the dragon and looks awesome. Rob Geronimo's gonna shit his pants when he sees it. But anyways,
it's gonna be good when you say, that person's gonna shit their fucking pants when they see that shit.
Yeah, it's gotta be good if you say that, if you make that prediction,
and West Coasters, don't forget to go check out Asian Invasion.
Yes, that sounds like a great show. Yeah, check out tons of great creators on there. There's a Facebook event page for it, right?
Yeah, I put it in the private chat. So you guys can put that out there.
We'll make sure all the
say
links are in the video.
Yes. Yeah, let me see if I can share that really quick. Oh, here it is. Let me share this one last link with you guys. Check out this Facebook event if you are in the area. It's a Asian Invasion convention. Sounds awesome. I wish I was there so I could go.
Make sure you say hi to my buddy Don.
Yeah, definitely. All the great creators at this show. All right.
You got all those guys there, you know.
Awesome. All right. So any last words before we wrap up this episode of Indie Comics Relay?
That almost sounds ominous. You got any last words? It's like, no, I got so much more. But no, check out, just share Demon Bitch Y'all Suck. The link tree will have the apparel for Asian Invasion. If you're on the West Coast, you're going to be out there. Sign up for, join, say you're going to the event. It's 11 to 4, 3, 19, 22. Also, if you just want to buy stuff, you don't have to wait till the Kickstarter. Of course, give me money for the Kickstarter, but I already have a lot of good product, and go ahead and buy stuff from there. I ship it to you in a quick amount of time.
All right. Well, that's it, everybody. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another live stream, and then I'll be dropping some videos on the channel this week and next week. So, all right, everyone, have a great night, and we'll talk to you in the next live stream. All right, bye.